You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, demolition for the former Holiday Inn in Joplin continues. We'll have the details. Also, the public is invited to a virtual meeting about the replacement of the Route 96 bridge near Carthage. And not fall-like yet in the 4 states, even though we're in the second week of fall. We'll take a look at when fall will arrive and about some rain chances as well coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
That was a lot of birds in that thing. Well, good morning. Welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. on this Monday morning. Got to share something interesting with you because this is where the internet gets fun. So, of course, it's social media age. So all of us here have work Facebook pages. Well, I got a message about 20 minutes ago from somebody with a video link. They want me to open the video link because the product that I sold them, they bought it and now it's not working, and they want me to check the video to ensure that they put it together correctly. So I'm not really sure what I've been selling lately, but apparently it doesn't work. However, I'm not going to click that video link. And if you receive anything quite like that, always be suspicious if you don't know the sender, or if they send you something like that and you don't sell products. Just watch out on social media. You never know what people are going to try and do. As I mentioned, fall also going to settle in with our temperatures a little later this week. We'll take a complete look at your forecast, get you out the door here in a couple of minutes. And people from all over Kansas and the surrounding states are taking a trip to Chase County Lake to see one bird, not the dozens of birds you just saw in that little open we had. Photojournalist Bert Harry has reactions from everyone who went to see the flamingo.
It's the west end of Chase County Lake.
I think it's rare.
When they were talking about them being where they've been found, they've not said anything as far north or west as Kansas. It was like Philadelphia, Alabama.
It was worth driving all the way down here.
They said Hurricane Idalia, August the 30th, misplaced a bunch of them. They've seen a few scattered along the East Coast.
I've never seen that pink flamingo here.
Great bird.
Ever.
I chased the one at Smithville Lake in Missouri.
It's something for sure. I don't know where it came from.
They migrate. They can really fly.
We've never seen a pink flamingo, so like I said, we had to come out and see it for ourselves.
They said it has happened in the past, like 1972, and one can't start another population in an area that they're sighted at. They've got to find a mate somewhere, and if there's just one here and here and here,
just hanging out,
they'd probably wind up going back.
I think it's a law-breaking bird. That's what I think. If it doesn't have a fishing license.
I very now see, Lori's laughing too. I don't know what's going on up in Chase County. I presume these folks maybe have never seen a flamingo before. I don't know.
It's not a local flamingo.
It's not. Well, that guy put it right. He's like, I have never seen that pink bird here before. Like, he is suspicious of that flamingo. He's like, I don't know what he's doing here, and I don't like it. Well, you've got something pink for us a little later too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to that. Something else we're looking forward to is some fall-like temperatures. Man, we've been waiting for a while across the area, and they will eventually get here. But first, we're going to take a look at that forecast to get you out the door. Our camera 7th and range, I've never carried this with me, but I don't have anywhere to put it, so it's going to be my friend for a moment. We are looking pretty good. A few clouds out there, 7th and range line, and from the MoDOT camera 20th and range line, still not a lot of sunlight yet, but it will get here eventually. And we will warm up and be above average once again across the area. We are looking at mostly clear skies, though, as we head out this morning. But again, our average, we should stop warming about 9, 10 o'clock. And then we'd be right where we should be. But that's not going to happen. We're talking upper 70s, near 80 by late morning. And that is ahead of a very warm day across the 4 states again. And I love being able to do this. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the preview. Fall is going to get here. Those cool temperatures are going to kick in. They're going to do so abruptly. And we will look at your full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Well, Joplin police say a car crashed into a house Friday morning after hitting another vehicle. It happened around 11 Friday morning at 26th and Pitcher. Authorities say 2 vehicles collided at the intersection, causing one of them to go off the road and crash into a house. One of the drivers received non-life-threatening injuries. No one was in the home at the time of the crash. And demolition for the former Holiday Inn in Joplin continues. On September 8th, demolition equipment was in full swing at 3615 South Hammonds Boulevard. The Holiday Inn is being torn down to pave the way for a new hotel from a Springfield developer. And the public has been invited to a virtual meeting about the replacement of the Route 96 bridge near Carthage later today. In 2024, the bridge will be closed due to construction for about 6 months. The new bridge will include new barrier walls, guardrails, and permanent striping. Route 171 will remain open for the duration of the project, except for some brief intervals during construction. Well, the mayor of Marion, Kansas is suspending the chief of police after the police department raided the office of a newspaper and the home of the publisher. Back in August, Marion PD seized computers, cell phones, and other materials from the Marion County Record. Law enforcement said it was investigating identity theft and, quote, unlawful acts concerning computers. No word yet on how long the suspension could last. Well, up next, why a new study shows some incidental activity in the course of your normal routines. And later, why pickleball has become popular again. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We're going to be right back, but first, take a look at this cow. Why are we showing you this cow? Because this cow's having a lot of fun at Annabelle's Fun Farm down in Welch. In Health Watch this morning, there's a recall on cantaloupe due to the threat of salmonella. The Food and Drug Administration says Eagle Produce in Scottsdale, Arizona issued a voluntary recall of nearly 6,500 cases of whole cantaloupe after they were possibly contaminated with the bacteria. Cantaloupes were sold between September 5th through the 16th in several retailers throughout the U.S. The recall involves 19 states and the District of Columbia, including California, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, and Texas. Symptoms of salmonella include fever, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Can't schedule any workout time? Study says just go about your day and you may live better anyway. A new study published in the Lancet Public Health Journal shows some incidental activity in the course of your normal routines actually works like exercise and helps you reduce some bad health risks. The researchers collected data from middle to late age people with wrist-worn devices, followed their activity, and measured against their health records. Scientists found results such as short activity spurts at moderate intensity decreased major cardiac events, and vigorous activity for 15% of the time had the best benefits. And the most popular sport in America is biking, followed closely by running. But can you guess what's in the number 3 spot? Well, here's a hint. It's not basketball, golf, tennis, soccer, or baseball. Give up? Well, we've kind of hinted at it all morning long, so I think you might know the answer. But if you don't, Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively is in Washington with the answer.
Let's talk pickleball. Since its invention in 1965, it has been all the rage at retirement communities and the tennis courts of grandmas. But in 2023, pickleball is having a moment.
I can play, anybody can play.
It's actually the fastest growing sport in America, and not just with the senior set. According to Pickleheads, players between 18 and 34 are the biggest age group picking up the paddle. The Association of Pickleball Professionals released data this year that says 36.5 million Americans now play the sport, including celebrities like comedian Rob Riggle, who calls it weirdly addictive.
It brings everybody together. Senior citizens, kids, and everybody in between.
There are tens of thousands of pickleball courts in the U.S. and temporary ones popping up like this one on the National Mall. Although not everybody is a fan. The crack of a good volley hitting the paddles is music to players' ears. But for those who live near popular pickleball courts, hours of paddle pops a day can be unbearable.
Just this week, USA Pickleball came out with a quiet line where people are working on solving the thwack.
There's even a Facebook page with more than 1,700 members who complain about the thwacks and discuss the best ways to sue for relief. Biking and running are the only athletic activities more popular, according to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association. And with an average growth rate of almost 32% a year, pickleball could soon be number one. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, we've got ourselves another above average, not very fall-like day out there. So we go through the morning. We're looking at mostly clear skies. Temperatures warming quickly into the upper 70s, near 80 by late morning. We're going to have another complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. And coming up, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne's son, Jack, has a new Travel Channel series. And that's where the family's going to join him on paranormal investigations. That sounds like fun. We've got the details. But first, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We have got Lori Horton back in the studio. Now, in our 6 o'clock hour, number one, I steered clear of the eggs, so we didn't have any mishaps there.
Good call.
And two, she began what we've put in here, strawberry cream cloud bread.
Yes.
But you said it's really just cloud bread, but we've added some, well, not me. I'm not involved in this at all. Lori has added some strawberry flavoring. That's why it's strawberry.
Yes, so we started out with our egg whites, and we just put those 3 egg whites in there, whipped them up, got them a little bit frothy. Anybody that's ever made meringue before will be very familiar with what I'm talking about on that. It just takes about 30 to 45 seconds in a very good high-powered mixer to get to that state. And then we added a little bit of white sugar, a little bit of cornstarch, and then a little strawberry jello, just the dry strawberry jello.
Not pre-made jello, just
not
the mix.
ready to eat, just the dry mix. And I'm going to hit this one more time. Once we added all of that, we're going to whip this to stiff peaks, and that's really important that it's really nice and stiff. Go super high, you can hear that. It's really going to town. And just give it a final mix on that, and that took about 3 minutes. So give me that, and you guys will easily be able to see this. What we've got on here is a really stiff peak. So it's just holding its shape on there. We can do that. I like to make as much noise as possible in here so you guys can be annoyed. Talk about pickleball noise. I can beat it every day of the week.
This is better though, because this is a good noise because there's delicious food coming out of this noise.
That's the end result, so that always makes it worth it. So when we bake this, we start with a parchment lined baking sheet, and what's really important, and I did again, I've done all of the missteps for you guys to sample this. I tried it without spraying the parchment and with spraying the parchment. You want to spray the parchment.
Okay.
Because this is going to be something that is a little bit sticky after it's done. So that gives it a really easy release. So we can take this entire batch and just spread it in a loaf on that. And that's kind of where I think we get the name of bread, because we make this little like loaf out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like, it's obviously meringue, but it looks like a little loaf of bread, you know?
And we bake that at a fairly low temp, 300 degrees for like 40 minutes. Comes out a little bit brown on top. Now, as I mentioned, it's Monday. Had some refrigerator issues at my house last night, so this is not as cool as it should be. And you can see, just like meringue, it's starting to sweat a little bit and bead, and that's what meringue does when it is not nice and chilled. So real important to keep this guy cool after the fact. But what I experimented with yesterday was turning this into cookies and a little bit of a simple macaron. And that is what I did. So when we come back on this last little bit, I'm going to show you how we can pipe these into some nice little cookie shapes, make some filling on them, and actually make some little sort of meringue macaron cookie sandwiches that will be delicious.
Now, see, this is why Lori's the expert, though, because I thought these were like sprinkles.
They're not.
They're definitely not. I had to take a second look, and now I realize, like, they're not
it's like
sprinkles.
it's little beads. It's just that little bit of moisture that starts to come out on meringue. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as it weeping or beading. And that's just kind of what meringue does. It's from that egg whites in there. And when it gets a little bit warm, it gets a little bit sweaty, just like the rest of us.
I've learned something. Well, Lori, stick around, because, as she mentioned, we're going to finish this up here in just a few more minutes, and we'll be back right after this. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne's son, Jack, has got a new Travel Channel series where the family is going to join him on paranormal investigations. Rick Damagello reports.
I really enjoy bringing friends and family to the scariest places I can find. I grew up watching The X-Files. That was like my favorite show ever. Diehard fan. It just kind of planted a seed for my interest in the fringe, the paranormal, the unexplained.
Jack Osbourne's Night of Terror opens with an episode set at Santa Paula, California's Glen Tavern Inn.
So I'm bringing my mother, Sharon Osbourne,
to a stately inn that hides a dark history of death.
With what happened to my mom during episode 1, that is something that I wasn't prepared for.
Lights on, now. We need an ambulance now. I'm just trying to keep our airway open. Hey, breathe. Mom, breathe.
1 minute she was totally fine, and the next, she's in the back of an ambulance, having experienced some, by all accounts, unexplained phenomenon.
Everything you shouldn't do in a horror movie, we're about to do.
I can earnestly say, with a hand, you hand me any holy manuscript, I'll put my hand on it. We do not fake anything. We do not bolster evidence. We do not play around. There's no special effects department to this production. We're really bare bones, and kind of what you see on camera is what we got.
Be careful, Jack.
And don't go anywhere on your own.
The series runs throughout October with future episodes set in Illinois and Nevada. Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
It certainly looks interesting for sure. I suppose, they're the perfect family to go check out some paranormal places, right? Right. Well, coming up, a Neosho skating rink hosts a skate and donate event for the local help center. Plus, we've been talking about when fall's going to get here. I promise it's really going to get here, but not today. We'll take a look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Currently 7:26 now on this Monday morning. Well, Saturday afternoon, the House approved a stopgap bill to fund the federal government for 45 more days, averting a government shutdown. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy had dropped demands for steep spending cuts in an attempt to win the support of Democrats. The package now goes to the Senate, which is expected to approve the legislation. The bill did not include financial help for Ukraine, which has been opposed by an increasing number of Republican lawmakers, but it does increase federal disaster assistance by $16 billion, as President Biden had requested. The approval came with just hours left before the midnight deadline to fund the government or face a shutdown. And we're going to take a quick look at that forecast because we've been teasing the fall-like weather, so we're going to get to that. It is not today, unfortunately. As you can see, highs today going to push the mid to upper 80s across the area. We'll have partly cloudy skies in some of our western counties, could even go near 90. It also means a mild evening out there, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies initially in the 70s, low to mid 60s overnight. We're going to turn mostly cloudy. I wanted to show you when fall is actually going to get here, even though in theory it arrived almost a little over a week ago, a little over a week. Anyway, point is it's going to cool down. We've got shower and thunderstorm chances late Tuesday night, still warm though. We're still slightly above average Wednesday with more widespread thunderstorms. And the good news is at this point, not anticipating any severe weather. That carries on, maybe leaves us with some morning showers on Thursday, but look at that high 74 and look at what happens as we head into the weekend. Temperatures fall back into the low 70s, even into the mid to upper 60s. And of course, with the daytime temperatures dropping, check out those overnight lows as they fall back into the 40s and 50s. Look at Thursday night, 42 degrees. So if you've been waiting for fall, it is almost here. Well, the Skateland Fun Center of Neosho opened its doors yesterday for a skate and donate event. The purpose of the event was to help those that may need food ahead of the holiday months. Each skater that brought 3 non-perishable items to donate to the Help Center in Neosho were able to skate for free during the event.
We do this at least once a year, a free skate for the, we give it to the Help Center behind us for the Neosho food baskets for, those that need it the coming season.
The skate session began at 2 and wrapped up around 4. Well, throwers from all around the 4 states showed off their skills yesterday with a knife tournament at Anvil Axe Company in Neosho. Competitors were competing in a traditional knife throwing competition. The tournament was double elimination with the top 3 competitors each walking away with a trophy to celebrate those throwing skills.
Arms are feeling good. This wasn't like a large tournament, so there wasn't like 128 people here. So you didn't have to throw that many matches. Sometimes you have to throw quite a few in a tournament. So arm feels good, everything like that, but the competition was still there.
The Knives Tournament concluded Anvil Axe Company's week-long schedule of tournaments, and I don't necessarily have a knife here to throw, but I do have a poorly made paper airplane. Yeah, my throwing skill's not so great. Moving along, the Four States Heart Walk was held Saturday at the Leggett and Platt Center at MSSU. More than 250 people signed up in support of the fight against heart disease and stroke. Community members, sponsors, and volunteers joined together to raise more than $36,000 for the American Heart Association. Those in attendance walked 1.5 miles to help bring awareness to heart health. There was also some fun activities for the kiddos and a mascot race featuring MSSU's Rory the Lion and Harty from the American Heart Association. And for many, the importance of an event like this means they can continue on living normal lives.
Oh, it's great. That's one thing about Southwest Missouri Bank. We're huge with that. We really love to get out and support our community. So anything like this, the Heart Walk, anything else that can support our community, we try to be involved. So.
The American Heart Association's Four States Heart Walk fundraiser will be accepting donations until October 30th. Their fundraising goal, $50,000. Speaking of walking, the second annual Joplin VA 5K walk also took place Saturday, and this one at King Jack Park in Webb City. The walk was in honor of area veterans as well as those that completed the walk, run, or roll program. The event included presentations from the Fayetteville VA and presenting of the colors from the Webb City JROTC program.
To give back because I'm not a veteran. I was 8 years old when I came to the United States. My family chose to come to the United States because of all the opportunities available here.
The event was a fun run or walk, so no times or scores were recorded. Local Girl Scout troops were offered the chance to earn their badges. The Scouts went out to George Washington Carver National Monument, where they were guided through making discoveries and doing arts and crafts. Scouts also learned important facts about George Washington Carver and about the monument named for him.
They have had Girl Scouts Day even before I was here. There's been a really wonderful partnership with the local Girl Scouts, including the major Heartland network, which is out of Springfield, Missouri. And so we're so fortunate to have lots of different troops here today, again, of all different ages, and they're learning about these amazing places, including that of George Washington Carver.
The event was open to cadets of all ages, and all of whom were earning their badges. The third annual Hispanic Heritage Festival was held in Carthage on Saturday. The event bringing together people from a number of communities across the region to celebrate Hispanic culture and heritage. The event included artists from across the world and, of course, some local vendors. Those festivities ran through 11 o'clock on Saturday night. Keltoy Winery celebrated 25 years Saturday with a birthday party, but it was a busy Saturday in the Four States. The party included live music, street tacos, cake, and of course, fan favorite wines. Attendees were also able to participate in hay rides and learn about the Keltoy murals from artist Kyle McKenzie.
This has been a long story. It's kind of one that for the first 10, 15 years, every day you kind of wondered, are we going to do it for another day? And then it slowly developed into what it is now, and it's been worth it.
The event began at 11 and wrapped up around 6 on Saturday evening. And that is a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Lori Horton is over there. That's not Lori. That's what she's making. And we're going to continue to finish up the strawberry cream cloud bread. Plus, we have got the weather to talk about. Another warm, above average day today. Fall-like temperatures later on. Be back with all of that and more when we come back. But first, it's another live look from Annabelle's Fun Farm in Welch. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Lori Horton back with us because she never really left. Actually, she never really leaves at all. That's how we stay fed through the week. So
I just
Lori,
sleep here.
yeah, we appreciate it for sure. She has chopped open the meringue
I have.
It looks very pink. We're going to talk about that, but you've got this because there's another thing you can do with this recipe we've been working on.
So you guys know I usually like to bring you stuff that, is a little bit easier, something that's a little family friendly, you can make at home. And that you can do up a day or so ahead because we're all really busy.
Oh, yeah.
This is not that recipe. So this really is going to be done fresh. And, again, meringue, it just is not something that lasts a real long time, even a meringue pie.
True.
So what I experimented with a little bit yesterday was piping this out and turning it into a cookie.
Okay.
And when they're really fresh and when they haven't sat in a refrigerator that's not cool enough, they are nice and crisp on the outside and really soft on the inside. Very similar to a French macaron. So they're a little bit of a cheat for that, which everybody loves. And all I did was take that stiff peaked meringue mixture that we did. You can put that in a piping bag. I put a little tip on there so that it gets a little bit pretty on the edge. And then you literally will just squirt those out onto that parchment paper that you're going to have sprayed with a baking spray and make these nice little size cookies, whatever size you want. Because they're not going to spread, they're not going to expand, they're going to stay exactly as you pipe them out onto that sheet.
That is convenient because I have tried to make cookies once with cookie dough, and then I didn't realize that I don't bake. I didn't know they expanded. Then they're all joined together, and it was a nightmare. So the wife does not allow me to cook. It's
probably
a good idea. This is something she could do.
Absolutely. And they come out all nice and pretty. Whatever flavor that you want to add on there, you can swap out that Jell-O. It doesn't have to be strawberry. So once that bakes off, and obviously these are going to bake a little bit less than the whole loaf of bread, about 20 minutes at that low 300-degree temp. So very easy to do. But what you end up with, again, is that soft inside. If you kind of look in on our loaf, it's almost sort of like an angel food cake, married a loaf of really soft bread. So you do get that really nice creaminess to it. And then with these, what you can even do is come back, and I made a little bit of a strawberry buttercream. And I can pipe just a little edge around the cookie that way. And then come back with a little bit of strawberry jam and put some in the center. And then just make my little sandwich out of that. And again, similar to those French macarons, it will always have that filling and everything in there. But you need a little bit of something to hold that in place.
Yeah.
So we start with a little bit stiffer buttercream, and then we add that little softness to the center. So it's a perfect combination. Again, when they're really nice and fresh, crispy outside, soft and gooey inside, and then you add that layer of that filling and that jam to it. It just takes it up a notch.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, it looks incredible out there with just that way, or even just look at the inside of that thing.
Exactly.
It
And
beautiful.
when this is hot and fresh out of the oven, you'll see your videos of that cloud bread on, TikTok, Instagram, all of the apps, and it just pulls apart. It's this wonderful cloud. There's a reason they call it cloud bread. It's very puffy and beautiful out of the oven. So it's just something to be made and enjoyed immediately. But the cookies you can do a little bit ahead and they'll last a little longer.
All right. Well, Lord, thanks so much for coming in and making something so delicious. We have got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is almost 7:42. In fact, we're 10 seconds away from that on this Monday morning. Looking outside, we got some clouds out there. Otherwise, not a bad start to the day. Not where we should be temperature-wise. A little warmer, 66 right now with partly cloudy skies. Southerly breeze. It's calm initially, but we'll have a 5 to 10 mile an hour southerly breeze later. 66 in Pittsburgh, Lamar, Carthage. We've got 67, Fort Scott, Nevada, Chanute, 65, Parsons, Chatopa, 64, Miami, Neodesha, and Yates Center as we get this Monday underway. We're going to continue to warm rather quickly, mostly clear skies near 80 by late morning out there. We'll start to go partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon, warming up well above average to the tune of about 10 degrees or so. Mid to upper 80s. Some of our western counties could even go near 90 today. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies through the evening. Temperature still mild into the 70s, then increasing clouds overnight, mostly cloudy skies. We go back in the low to mid 60s, and then fall officially arrived a little over a week ago. It will arrive Temperature-wise, by about Thursday here in the 4 states, so tomorrow still warm, a little cooler. We're talking low to mid-80s, upper 70s Wednesday, still a little above average. We'll have some thunderstorms coming in with the system late Tuesday into our Wednesday. We'll spend most of our day Wednesday with scattered thunderstorms across the region. The good news is at this point, no severe weather is expected. Then we'll carry on with some remaining showers Thursday and then take a look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are fall-like temperatures, even slightly below average temperatures as we go back into the mid-upper 60s and even some lower 70s out there. And look at those overnight lows back into the 40s and even the 50s. So a lot cooler weather on the way. In Consumer Watch this morning, Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill that would have paid unemployment benefits to workers on strike. Senate Bill 799 would have allowed workers who are on strike for at least 2 weeks to collect unemployment checks from the state. But in Saturday's veto, Newsom said the bill would expand California's outstanding federal unemployment benefits debt, which is projected to be nearly $20 billion. Newsom also stated his support for workers and their right to strike. Starbucks violated federal labor law by withholding pay hikes from unionized employees. That's what a National Labor Relations Board judge ruled on Thursday. Coffee giant announced last year that it would raise wages and offer new benefits to non-union employees. But the judge ruled that was a corporate-wide attack on the employees' right to unionize. Thursday's decision is the latest of rulings from the NLRB that have found Starbucks to be resisting efforts of unions forming in its coffee shops. The judge recommended that Starbucks compensate the unionized workers for the wages and benefits they were denied. Starbucks is planning to appeal the decision. So far, nearly 360 Starbucks stores have voted to unionize. New signs that inflation is cooling. Friday, the Commerce Department released the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. It's a key way to measure inflation excluding gas and food prices. The department said inflation rose 3.9% for the year ending in August. That's the lowest annual increase the index has seen in 2 years and is a positive step toward the Federal Reserve's target of 2% inflation. However, the rising cost of energy may continue to put upward pressure on overall inflation. Earlier this month, oil prices surged further after Saudi Arabia and Russia announced plans to extend production cuts. Across the national parks across the country is on the line as a government shutdown was looming. In Colorado, one town's economy is dependent on Rocky Mountain National Park. People in Estes Park tell Dylan Thomas what a shutdown would mean for them.
We are very much a tourist economy.
With the beauty of Rocky Mountain National Park in their backyard, the local economy in Estes Park clings to the presence of tourists.
Our tourism last year was 4.5 million people coming through Estes Park to enjoy our area and enjoy Rocky Mountain National Park.
While there are plenty of things to do away from Rocky Mountain National Park, the threat of a government shutdown impacting the staffing at the park has some concern about how local businesses will also be impacted.
The impact reduces tourism.
Hike in downtown Estes caters to the outdoorsman who loves sporting high-quality gear in the summer and fall months.
It's everything for us. I mean, we do probably 85% of our yearly goal is done from May through October.
But if the park closes,
all of our businesses are concerned about having their incomes reduced. And we live on sales tax. That's how our government runs. So anytime something potentially reduces sales tax, we have to go into reserves.
Mayor Wendy Koenig says she's disappointed in Congress, knowing this could impact staff at the park as well.
Take care of all of us, and then you can take care of your personal goals. We are concerned about the employees too, because many of them are part of our community.
Meanwhile, stores like Hike plan to stay open, hoping fall colors will still attract tourists.
No matter what happens with the park, you know, the town is still here, we're still open. It's still a great place to come and get away and enjoy the scenery and wildlife and just all the cool stuff that we have up here.
Thankfully, that shutdown has been averted as a 45-day gap has been approved. We'll have to see what happens in 44 days. We'll be right back with more after this, but first we're going to take a look at market prices before the opening bell. Well, if you go to any football tailgating party, you're going to see a lot of innovative ideas, but have you ever seen a hot tub? Well, that's exactly what a couple of Detroit Lions fans brought with them for the Lions game against the Green Bay Packers. And as Carl Winter reports, there's also a good cause behind the good fun.
We monitor the temperature. Like right now, it's probably 112 degrees.
Denny Arney and Mark Mullins are responsible for setting up the hot tub for Lions games. Their late friend Ron started the Tubgator tradition in 1995.
Everybody thought he was crazy when he said he was going to make a hot tub on a trailer.
Yeah.
He did it.
Now the Tubgators are in the Tailgating Hall of Fame. Every game, an opposing fan pours the blue dye into the water. The Lions diehards host for this game is Packers fan Kelly Jones, who also has the tailgate down to a science.
We will have the game on TV there for the people who don't make to it. Kind of a DJ area set up here.
Jones's veteran tailgate zone is complete with 3 bars.
So this is our new bar this year.
A throne, and a built-in bottle opener. But the best part for his guests? They can donate to veterans' causes, but otherwise, the drinks are free of charge.
We don't charge for anything here. It's an at-will donation.
Whether rooting for the green and gold or Honolulu blue and white, the fans say football is about having fun.
It's family, friends, camaraderie.
It's more about the camaraderie and the people. I love everybody. If we lose, I'll still hug them and kiss them and be so happy that we're here.
Kelly Jones says the Veterans Tailgate spends between $1,200 and $1,500 per game for the drinks and porta potties that they provide. Now, see, I thought they were taking this to an actual stadium, and so now it makes a lot more sense logistically that they're doing it at different homes and things like that. Well, it's good weather to keep tailgating if there was a game tonight, and why not just tailgate because it's still good weather to do it. Live look outside, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line in Joplin, looking all right. We do have some clouds, as you can see, off to the west from the MoDOT camera in Neosho and the KDOT camera in southeast Kansas, south of Pittsburgh. Looking pretty decent as well this morning, but you see there's not as much sunshine down there because we do have clouds off to the west. We are partly cloudy, sitting at 66 in Joplin right now. Temperatures around the region looking pretty decent as well, above average, but not bad. They could be worse. 67 Nevada, Fort Scott, Chanute, 66 Pittsburgh, Lamar, Carthage, and 65 Neosho and Chautauqua as we get our morning started. Mostly clear skies, warming up quick, upper 70s near 80 by late morning. We're going to take a look at the news you need to know and tell you when fall temperatures are going to get here when we come back. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know, before you head out the door. Demolition for the former Holiday Inn in Joplin continues on September 8th. Demolition equipment was in full motion at 3615 South Hammonds Boulevard. Holiday Inn is being torn down to pave the way for a new hotel from a Springfield developer. The public is invited to attend a virtual meeting about the replacement of the Route 96 bridge near Carthage later today. In 2024, the bridge will be closed due to construction for about 6 months. New bridge will include new barrier walls, guardrails, and permanent striping. Route 171 down below will remain open for the duration of the project, except for brief intervals during construction. And the Four States Heart Walk was held Saturday at the Leggett and Platt Center at MSSU. More than 250 people signed up in support of the fight against heart disease and stroke. Community members, sponsors, and volunteers joined together to raise more than $36,000 for the American Heart Association. Those in attendance walked 1.5 miles to help bring awareness to heart health in the 4 states. And in terms of our weather, that's one step too far, but it's all right. Now it's not going backwards. Well, our highs today are going to be in the mid to upper 80s across the area. Partly cloudy skies, so well above average. Some of our western counties could even reach near 90. As we head into the evening, we'll go mostly clear, partly cloudy, mild through the 70s, and then increasing clouds overnight. Temperatures dropping back into the low to mid 60s. There we go. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Fall arrived officially last week, but temperature-wise, we'll get here by Thursday. Showers and storms still warm tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Those will come late in the evening, overnight. Scattered storms throughout the day on Wednesday. No severe weather expected at this point. Some lingering showers Thursday morning. Temperatures getting to fall-like levels as we head toward the weekend, falling back in mid-upper 60s, lower 70s, and look at what that does to our overnight lows as they fall back into the 40s and 50s. Starting to warm up a little bit next week, back into the mid-upper 70s. Overnight lows still hanging out in the low to mid-50s. Well, here's a new one to add to your Costco shopping list, a gold bar. The retailer is selling 1 ounce 24 karat gold bars for just under $2,000 each. They've been available on Costco's website and come individually stamped with a unique serial number. Costco top executive says they're a hot item and are selling out within a couple of hours of being posted to the Costco website. The bars come from South African mining company Rand Refinery and Swiss precious metal supplier Pomp Suisse. The gold is non-refundable and ships via UPS. So if you got $2,000 extra to spend, go pick yourself up a gold bar. Well, thanks so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We will be back with more news and weather today at noon. Have a great morning and an even better day.